Hello, my friends. D.L. Anderson here. Welcome back to Transformation by Truth podcast as we share the truth concerning these last days and what you must do to save yourself from the violent times that are just ahead. Today's podcast is a word of truth accounting of the end times. The end is coming. The end is near. Today's podcast is entitled End Times 341, Your Victory Over Despair. How Hope Reverses the Damage of Despair Within Your Mind. The podcast objectives are: reveal the only way you can eliminate despair, reveal how hope eliminates despair, and analyze how hope reverses the damage despair does to our minds. This lesson contains timelines and other visuals. Therefore, if you are listening to the podcast, I advise you to watch the video version on our website or YouTube, or request a PDF of the lesson so you can add the visual effect. The only way to eliminate despair. Shalom, my beloved brothers and sisters, and welcome to day 80 of our exposition of lawlessness. In the most recent podcast, we executed a high-level overview of hope, the fundamental degree of faith, and the beginning of spiritual power. Although there is much more I could say about hope, I must move forward with my remit. That is, showing you how you can wield the power of faith to defeat doubt at the detailed level. For you cannot eliminate doubt without eliminating all the degrees of doubt. Therefore, as hope is the fundamental degree of faith, its great work is to eliminate despair. For despair is the fundamental degree of doubt. Ergo, despair is the antithesis of hope. It is the degree of lawlessness that hope is specifically designed to eliminate. To prove this matter, we should consider the table to the right, recapping what we have learned about hope. The primary objective of hope is to look forward always as we progress our quest, specifically focusing on our prospects and not the obstacles. By definition, hope is continuing to believe in an outcome or a situation, although the outlook does not warrant it. Now, the definition of hope and its primary objective clearly reveal why hope is the degree of holiness the Father has designed to combat despair, freeing us from its negative influence forever. It is for the following reason. Whereas hope causes us to look forward, focusing on our prospects and potential, despair causes us to look backwards upon focusing on our obstacles and the giants in our path, to the point where we believe there is nothing that can be done that would cause us to succeed in a difficult situation. Can you see how diametrically opposed these two degrees are? To wit, 1 degree, i.e., hope, causes us to look forward, while the other degree, i.e., despair, causes us to look backwards. 1 degree, i.e., hope, causes us to focus on our prospects, while the other degree, i.e., despair, causes us to focus on our obstacles. This is a key matter which supports the following revelation. As all the degrees of holiness and lawlessness are counterparts, there are two things you must always remember. First and foremost, you cannot possess both degrees. You cannot have hope and despair, the same way you cannot have faith and doubt. This leads to the second half of the equation, vis-a-vis, the only way to eliminate any degree of lawlessness is to replace it with its counterpart. To wit, the only way to eliminate despair is to unlock the power of hope. For although there are many powers of the Spirit, the power of hope is the only power designed to eliminate despair. How hope eliminates despair. Now, the manner in which hope eliminates despair is brilliantly fascinating. To wit, the same way despair hijacks your personality and creates self, the first of 7 great enemies you must overcome in your quest. Hope hijacks self. And then it creates a renewed personality, which is even more formidable and powerful than your original personality. For your renewed personality is after the Holy Spirit. This new and improved personality is so powerful, it can never be defeated by despair or any other opposing force. Quite the contrary. Once you unleash this renewed version of your personality, you will never be defeated again. The key is you must master hope and reign over despair. For this cause, your war with despair has 2 phases. The first phase evolves around despair, desperately trying to protect yourself, which it can only do if you fail to constantly walk in the ways of hope. Now, if you succeed this challenge, you will move on to the second phase, that is, the construction of your renewed personality. This occurs after you have eliminated despair from your thought dimension and fully replaced it with hope. Here is why this is so important. When you unlock the power of hope and eliminate despair from your being, you undo all the damage despair caused in your thought dimension. In this order, hope frees your emotions, feelings, and your physical perspective from the damaging influence of despair. This reversal of fortune is crucial for the same reason your elimination of despair is so crucial. Consider this. Once hope creates a renewed personality within you, every facet of your thought dimension becomes connected to the power of hope. Vis-a-vis, it, like your renewed personality, can neither be compromised nor defeated. My dear friends, this is crucial for more reasons than I can tell you. Consider your emotions and ask yourself the following question. How powerful would I be if I was always in complete control over my emotions? Then again, take, for example, your physical perspective and ask yourself the following question. How powerful would I be if I always had the right perspective on every aspect of my physical being and reality? The answer, you would be most powerful indeed. Moreover, you would be positioned to renew your thought generation by having a persistent positive influence on your feelings. Notwithstanding, this influence will not be enough to undo all the damage doubt has done to your thought dimension. And thus, we must not stop with this pivotal victory over despair. Rather, we must take the next step forward and move on to the next battlefield. We must now take the battle to distrust. and we will. And we will beat him just like we beat despair. To display the power of hope. Here we have a diagram of the thought dimension, which shows you exactly what happens when you unlock the power of hope. And we will review this diagram at the detailed level in this section. First of all, you can clearly see how hope is now in the place where despair used to reign in your thought dimension. But unlike despair, hope is color coded in green and is highlighted in blue. The same goes for all the faculties and actors that hope has freed from the negative influence of despair, namely, your renewed personality, which has replaced self in the heart of your mind. My dear friends, I cannot tell you how crucial this reversal is. When I tell you that self is one of the 7 greatest enemies you will ever face in your life, you must believe me. That is saying a lot. If for no other reason, always remember that self is the driving force within those who are perishing, that is ready and willing to indict the Most High, declaring, "Let self be true and the Most High a liar." Trust me, that's just the beginning of the severe troubles with this imposter. And it is why he or she is the first great enemy you must defeat in your quest. He is a problem, and he must be dealt with early and often. Now, by eliminating self and creating your renewed personality, hope also frees your emotion from the control of despair. For once, you can begin using your emotions in a positive manner. To wit, you can use your emotions in the progressive manner in which the Father designed them to be used. Allow me to tell you how, and allow me to tell you why, in the form of an inflection point. This is one I advise you to bookmark. Yahuwah designed our emotions to make it easier for us to follow the direction of our conscience. To wit, when our emotions are governed by hope, they are designed to positively impact our feelings and to follow the path prescribed by our conscience and our voice of reason. This proves that there is nothing sinister or ill about our emotions. Quite the contrary, people are sinister and ill, and this causes them to not only mismanage their emotions, but it also causes them to follow the worst ones. Be that as it may, it is important that you understand that your emotions are not the enemy. Self is the enemy, and he or she has made your emotions an accomplice to his or her sin. But now, due to the power of hope, your emotions have been set free, and now they have become facilitators of your victory over doubt and eventually every degree of lawlessness. Last but not least, hope also frees your physical perspective from the damaging impact of despair. This reversal can be easily understood by analyzing a common test on this matter. To wit, there is a saying that suggests there are 2 kinds of people in this world. Vis-a-vis, there are those who see a glass of water as half empty, and there are those who see the glass as half full. Now, those who see the glass as half empty are pessimists who are being impacted to some degree by despair. For as the glass is as equally empty as it is full, these individuals are consciously or subconsciously choosing to view the glass from the perspective of despair. On the other hand, those who see the glass as half full are optimists who are being positively influenced by hope. Here is why this is so vital to your quest and why it is crucial to your ability to reign over despair. Consider the following point faithfully and commit it to memory if you are led. The only way you will succeed this quest and reign over despair is if you look at each situation as a glass that is always half full. Remember, we will routinely encounter situations where things from a physical perspective do not look promising, not at all. And yet, we must maintain our hope in each promise Yahuwah has made to us. And the only way we can do that is if we always view these situations from the perspective of the glass half full. And this, my friends, is the power of a renewed perspective, deriving from the renewed personality that Yahuwah, by his Spirit, has formed within you. By freeing your emotions and your physical perspective, you are now positioned to display the power of hope in everything you do. Now, here is the final word. The pain of despair is most unkind. Thus, we were called to free our minds. Now, it goes without saying that your victory over doubt does not end with your victory over despair. Remember, there are 3 degrees of doubt, and despair is just one of them. And thus, our war with doubt continues. Notwithstanding, we should not discount the amazing turn of events and great fortune you achieve with this victory. As you have learned, your victory over despair has wrought a great work in your mind and unlocked the fundamental power of the Spirit of Elohim. You, my friend, have harnessed the power of hope. So take a moment to soak it in and take some time to catch your breath. For our war with lawlessness carries on, and we are not done fighting yet. Now, here is today's assignment. Meditate on the word you have heard today. And as always, ask the Father to reveal the truth to you. For the children of Elohim live by conviction. And if he has not convicted you, or if you had not heard him concerning these matters, you should pray until you do. Today, I want you to meditate on all the material we covered. Specifically, I want you to meditate on all the damage despair did to your mind and all the repair hope has made to it. Regardless of where you are at in your battles with despair, I encourage you to give Elohim all the praise due to his name for not only providing the way of escape and a path to victory, no matter how far we have strayed, but for being with you every step of the way. Last but not least, if you are yet struggling with despair, I encourage you to seek advice from the spiritual leaders and or advisors in your life. Remember, you cannot obtain the seal of Elohim if you are operating in any of the degrees of lawlessness. And as we are moving on next to analyze your battles with distrust, we will not spend time in this venue discussing despair again, at least not in a dedicated fashion. So please take my advice and get the help you need. And if you are led, feel free to reach out to me. Now, here is what's next. We completed today's podcast, End Times 341, Your Victory Over Despair. And the next podcast is entitled End Times 342, An Intro to Trust. I will post this podcast on Friday, September 20th, 2024. Until then, my friends, continue to be led by the Spirit of Elohim. Continue to watch, continue to pray, continue in fasting, and most of all, continue to be focused, for the end is coming. The end is near.